Back in 2020, Nintendo released a limited run Game & Watch handheld games console that could only run the original Super Mario Bros. And its sequel. Without a doubt, this is one of the stupidest handhelds I've seen released recently. Well, it seems that Nintendo have done it again and released a Legend of Zelda version of this same handheld this month. And to be honest, I think it's absolute junk and e-waste. So let's talk about that. So first, let's talk about what this new handheld is and what it does. Simply put, it's a handheld designed to look like the classic Game & Watch systems, and it emulates 3 games that are built in. The Legend of Zelda for the NES, The Legend of Zelda 2, again for the NES, and The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening for the original Game Boy. Now don't get me wrong, these are all pretty good games and they will give you a fair few hours of playtime, but I still think that the game selection is the main problem with this device. It will only ever be able to play these 3 games. You will never be able to add more without hacking the device, which is incredibly difficult to do, so most people just won't. So that means you'll pick up this device for a few hours, play through these 3 games, and then put the device down and probably never use it again. But let's be honest here. This handheld was never really designed to be played with. It's a collector's item designed to live on someone's shelf somewhere. And that's sad because it makes this thing a huge waste of plastic and components. Nintendo didn't need to do this either. There was no reason why this handheld couldn't have had the ability to add more games. This thing could have been compatible with every single NES and Game Boy game because it's using emulation, and that would have made this thing so much more useful. Of course, Nintendo was never going to add the ability to add more games. No, instead what they want you to do is buy the exact same thing with different games on it year after year, and collectors will absolutely eat this sort of stuff up, which means that plastic and components are going to continue to be wasted on this sort of stuff. And it's such a shame that all of this is the case too, because otherwise this thing seems like such a nice piece of hardware. But in conclusion, unless you like spending £45 to waste money in plastic, I would probably recommend not buying this. Instead, if you do want to play these games, just buy one of those retro game emulation handhelds that are available. Those things will last a lot longer than this piece of junk and are actually compatible with a huge library of games, and they support adding as many games as you want. And to be honest, you'll probably have a better experience using one of those handhelds as well. You could even hack an existing handheld. For instance, I use a hacked Vita for all my retro gaming needs. Or you could just use your phone, I guess.